Well, hello and good afternoon. Hope everyone is doing well. Today, I really started thinking about the connections and relationships and the idea of how disconnected we are, even with all of the technology that we have. And most of us are involved with networking events or social events. And how do we really make those really cool connections that really are a process of what we do so people are being drawn to us? And so today's topic is how to become a master networker. It's something that I have developed over the years, and I turn the equation around as a lot of the areas and the things that I do in business because I want to be a server, a giver in the first place. So I created a 3-step process, and we'll be going over those elements. Hey, Martina, thanks for coming on. And so one of the first questions I would ask is, what is your goal when you go to a networking event or a social event where some of the intent of being there is to make connections? And what I am looking for is, there are people out there that are doing the training. Hey, Shelly, thanks for coming on. That say, you put an X number of cards, and what I had heard, you put 50 cards in your left pocket, and when you have that pocket empty and 50 cards in your right pocket of other people, you can go home. And so I've asked this question of audiences all over the country for, what is that number? What is that intention that you have as far as the number of connections? And people that are on the call that have come to my boot camp, come to my trainings, know that for me, the number is 1. Because anytime, hi, Michelle, thanks for coming on. That number is 1. When we go and have an intent of doing more than 1, say that a lower number, say 5. You have a goal of making 5 connections at that networking event. What in reality for me happens is that the true goal is number 5. And so number 4, or those 4 in between, and good to see you as well, Michelle. The other 4 become what I call stepping stones to number 5. You're always going to be thinking about, okay, I got that information, I got that card, what can I do to get that next connection? And because of that, hey, Ray, thanks for coming on. Because of that, we are really not engaged fully with the individuals that we are talking to up until that ultimate number. So if you have 1 as a goal, anything above that is called a bonus. And so everyone is taking on a true importance in the interaction that you have. So in so doing, let's go ahead and go through my 3 steps. So the first step is getting them to tell you their story. And it's that listening. It's that being totally engaged with that person so that you're hearing all of the nuances, you're watching their body language, and they're telling you where they hurt. This step I call triage. I want to know what their problems are, where their frustrations are, what it is that is maybe even keeping them up at night. Because I have a lot of things in my process, in my business, that I could share with an individual, but until I have that information from them, I don't know what part of me, if any, is relevant to the individual that I'm speaking with. And so this first part is really getting their story out, getting the connection on a deeper level than what most people do, where they say a lot of times, like, how are you? And everybody says, fine. Well, getting below that, people are not used to being listened to. And so having this connection, that is step 1, getting that raw material. Step 2 is deciding within yourself very quickly if you or someone else is the possible solution. And I want to emphasize the word possible, because at this moment, we don't know. I have found for myself that when I connect with somebody at an event or in the line at the grocery store or on an airplane, it doesn't matter, is that 95% of the time, I'm not the solution. But because of my connections, because of my sphere of influence, I normally have the connections within that database. And so I make that decision. And then the third step is where most people, in my opinion, really miss the mark. Is that when we get that connection and go, oh, this is where, this is exactly who you need, we fail to ask permission to make the connection. That connection permission is really important, because now they may not be ready for it, or they may still be questioning your motives or whatever. But when I ask, now I have that connection with that person. Now I'm able to facilitate. I had an experience a number of years ago. I was speaking at a conference, and the story about how a beaver saved my life, the MS story, came up. And so we were on a break, and this woman runs up to me, and she goes, "Gary, I'm going to heal you." And my first question was, "Who are you?" And we have since become really close friends. But it was totally a golly, I don't know who you are, I don't know what you do, and I didn't say you had permission to do anything with me yet. And so asking that permission is one of those magical connections that we can have, that as we make that connection, we can do the follow-up, making sure those two individuals, if it's not with me, are making that connection. Sometimes it gets lost, or people get busy, they forget. So I'm still the facilitator. But as soon as that facilitation is complete, I step out. If it's on say an introduction through Facebook, once they make that connection, I opt out of that connection. I opt out of that group. So they are truly on their own at that point. So those three steps will really, hey, Matt, engage in business with the person you want to meet right away. Yes, and the little nuances that you can actually pull together and write them on that business card for a later reference is also really good. So anyway, my action step for you out of this session is to use it, is to see about getting more of the story of the person that you're speaking with, making that determination whether or not you or another individual or organization would be a better connection for where they are at that moment. And then ask for permission to make that connection. And let me know. I know this has served me well for well over 30 years, and it has made me safe as people connect with me wherever we are. So thank you again for stopping by and being on this Facebook Live. We're doing them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And just appreciate everyone being here and doing the shares. And, the unique thing, I'm going to throw a little, I want to encourage all of you to do Facebook Lives. Because one of the unique things that I was not even anticipating was that we are putting these Facebook Lives on my YouTube channel. YouTube is now sending these out as a recommended viewing to their audience. And so that's kind of a serendipitous benefit that I didn't know would happen or could happen. So encourage you guys to do that, to get your message, your product, your connections out there even faster. So with that, have a great afternoon, and we'll see you this coming Friday, 1 o'clock Mountain Time. Thanks. Talk to you soon.